what's the point if it's like, yo, this food kills you if you make it wrong? Like, you're gonna straight up fuck.
I want to know the first guy to do it. He's like, I'm hungry, but this shit's gonna kill me. Maybe if I like skate around the death sack. Like, I don't really know.
That's what the girls called me in high school, the death sack.
What's good, man? It's your boy Juicy J, man. Shout out to Virtual Homework Podcast.
Welcome to a very special episode.
Why is it special?
It's always special when we have our lovely listeners listening to us.
He wanted to actually do the intro this time.
I was like, on the way home from work, I was like, I'm going to call these motherfuckers special.
That's really all you had?
Yeah. Listen, at least we're topical today. You know, we're playing a topical game.
Yeah, we're finally getting around to Cyberpunk. But before we get into Cyberpunk, did you play anything else this week? Did you actually play any more Mario and Bowser's Fury?
I have like 5 games on the fucking radar. I got to play that. I got to play Odyssey.
Oh, you got Odyssey?
Yeah, a lovely fan sent me Odyssey. It showed up at my house, and I thought it got stolen, but didn't.
Wow.
So shout outs to the fan that bought me Odyssey.
The fan that has your address. Well, I have been gaming a lot this week. I played more 3D World. Really, I'm just slowly making my way to 100% completion on that.
Nice.
But I've been playing a lot of Switch Online, specifically a lot of Picross. And I don't know.
What the fuck's that?
Picross.
What's that?
It's like a puzzle game. It's kind of like Sudoku, but it's weird. There's like a bunch of titles on the Super Nintendo online that are just straight up untranslated ROMs. Like they didn't even put effort to localizing it.
I remember there was one game. It was like Mario Puzzle something.
That's literally what I'm playing. Mario Picross.
Okay, yeah, I have no idea how it's played at all.
Yeah, like of all the games to put in an untranslated mode on the Super Nintendo online services, a puzzle game that's not super popular,
like an untranslated,
you have no idea how to play it. Like unless you already have played previous titles, like you have no idea how to play it.
It's like James.
It's not like Jamis, which is like an actually convoluted puzzle game. It's like it's kind of like Sudoku, where once you know how to do it, it's relatively easy. You're not gonna just like understand when looking at a Sudoku board how to play it. I also will say, we went on a rant previously regarding, like, Joy-Con drift. I have fixed my Joy-Con drift.
What'd you do?
Apparently, well, I could shout out the video because I just looked at a video and did exactly what they said there, but...
Shout them out.
Really...
Shout the homies out.
I don't remember it. I said I could, but I guess I can't.
You can't, you fucking liar.
If you just search fix Joy-Con drift, I think it's the first result, but basically... Okay. Joy-Con drift is mostly caused by us being disgusting people and getting like crumbs underneath the Joy-Con. So really just using rubbing alcohol like it's a SNES cartridge and just shoving it all in there with a Q-tip.
So if you're a disgusting bastard, then so there's like more likely people with Joy-Con drift are just disgusting bastards.
Well, I mean, it's really just that like dust gets in there, so like everyone's a disgusting person. Human beings are disgusting. We're just emitting oil everywhere.
I'm not oily.
No, we're not fucking robots.
I'm fucking pure.
All right. Well, speaking of the future, speaking of cyberpunk machines, oil.
I thought that since, Cyberpunk has been in the news, it came out in December, so I figured that would be the game we play this week.
Yeah, so we played Cyberpunk. I was actually surprised because this game was not as broken as people were saying. In fact, it was really different than what people were saying. It was 2D, had a pixel art aesthetic. No one even talked about that. They kept talking about like AAA. This game looked indie as fuck.
For those that don't understand, we are joking. We played a game that has Cyberpunk in the name. It was actually just me by my coworker who actually found it by searching Cyberpunk because he wanted to play that original one, and then he's like, "Oh, what the fuck's this? This has good reviews." And he ended up playing it.
So this is actually called VA-11 Hall-A. A Cyberpunk Bartender action. It's also like it's Valhalla.
Yeah,
Cyberpunk Valhalla is what I think people call it. But like we played this game. It's a bartending simulator / visual novel.
Yes,
set in the cyberpunk future. What do you think about this game?
You know what? This is like a very chill fucking game. You know, like it wasn't like all action packed and everything like that. Basically, the game revolves around you. Your name is Jill. You're a bartender where you basically have people come into your establishment. You listen to their stories, and you're instead of making like different dialogue choices, like how the game changes is based on the drinks that you give them and the drinks that they ask you for, and how you change them, and that'll actually change like the outcome of their interactions with other players, future events in the game, and so on and so forth. But you literally just listen to dialogue and mix drinks.
Yeah, the game is like billed as a bartending video game, but this is pretty much a visual novel with a twist on how you're actually making dialogue choices. You said it's chill. It is definitely chill. I think literally before you start the game, it's like pull up a beer and have a relaxed time with the game.
Yeah, which it is pretty relaxing. Like the music is, I think the music is genuinely fucking really good.
Yeah, the music is definitely a highlight of the game overall. I definitely had a relaxed time. I was playing this in bed. I played this like when I was getting my car fixed because I have it on the Switch, unlike some people here.
I have a Switch. I need to remember that I can play games on the Switch. I'm so used to not having a console that's like, oh, game's on the console, I guess I can't play it. Let me just go check Steam. Like, that's my automatic go-to and has been for so long. I'm like, holy shit, I have another console now. I can actually go and, I don't know, see if it's on there. So I probably would have enjoyed it significantly more on the Switch. What did you think about it? Did you enjoy it, or?
So, one last thing on the Switch, at least the versioning. Apparently, the Switch version is the best version because you're able to utilize the touchscreen on the Switch, which I didn't really do, but I could see it coming into play. We've really only said positive things about the game, but I honestly did not like this game very much. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things I could take or leave. This is like weeb to the fucking extreme. Like if you are someone that likes anime and like slice of life type shit and like, you know, kooky, like whoa, big boobs, like that kind of shit, you would probably like this game. But
yeah, so I think that it's mainly that I'm not a visual novel person, but like even more than that, this is a visual novel. And when you think of visual novels, like they have to excel on, I guess, really their dialogue in addition to the art. And I think the art style is fine. I think pixel art is a little bit overdone in terms of like indie games. Like so many indie games are pixel art, and I like pixel art, but it doesn't really stand out to me. I think that it has good world building, but the actual dialogue itself I found really atrocious.
Really?
And sure. This game is from a team. I think they're either in Venezuela or Brazil.
Yeah,
Venezuela.
Yeah, it's a Venezuelan company. Called Sukuban Games.
Yeah, but so I understand that because they're from Venezuela, especially, I'm not even sure if this game was originally programmed in English, but it could be related to translation issues. But I felt like characters in this game swore like they're 13 and just like didn't really... Like, they just learned about swears and have to insert them into every sentence.
It's like, fucking Christ, you know, tits, big titty, mommy milkers, like, all the time.
Yeah, and that's the second part. So this game reeks of people who don't really have that many interactions with the opposite sex. I beat this game. I'm not sure if you did.
No.
And if you look through the credits, there is only one female name, and like, sure, there could be people with names that sound male but are female. But there's only one female name in the entire credits of, like, a lot of people, which is very understandable to me. This reeks of a game where like it's men writing women, and it's like also weird in that like it's not really weird, but like specifically every single one of these characters, it's like maybe it's something regarding
sexual and stuff like that.
It seems like it's experiences that you would need someone who has that experience on the team to like really write about. Like there's a lot of people in like, for example, like 75% of the characters in this game are like lesbian women.
Yeah,
which is fine, but like it's when you have an all-male dev team, the characters don't really come off as like relatable or believable because of that.
It reminds me a lot of like 2004 era like anime culture, you know, dominated by men. Everything's like, you know, big booby waifus and stuff like that. Which actually is like kind of like I don't want to say commentary, but it reminds me a lot how like I feel like a lot of South American culture is like still stuck in that as far as like, you know, anime and stuff like that. They still like Dragon Ball Z. It feels like a lot of their stuff is like they're stuck in like
I wouldn't say stuck. I say like
2004
based on
2005 internet.
I just think like culture regarding like anime and video games often lags behind, and things that were popular 5 years ago for us are popular for them now. And I think that as globalization commences, we're going to be in a situation where that's less and less. But there still is definitely a difference regarding that. Will say, though, I mean, like I mentioned before, I beat this game. I wouldn't say this is a terrible game. It's just that I feel like maybe I'm judging it harshly due to the fact that it's a visual novel, and I didn't like the parts that people want a visual novel to excel at. I do want to say, like, I did like this game's environment, and I could understand why people like it, especially if they're into the visual novel genre in general. I was very surprised, though, when I saw, like, literal 10s out of 10s. Multiple people gave this game a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
like,
this game has,
gaming
like,
publications.
Fantastic reviews. Like, yeah, gaming publications, like, with some even going as far as saying this should be Game of the Year.
Yeah. I was surprised about that. I think this is definitely a very niche title that will appeal to the people in the niche market.
Yeah.
But it definitely dragged at times, and I wouldn't really say that there was much gameplay. You do have to mix drinks occasionally, and there is this memorization aspect where someone's like, give me the usual, and if you give them the usual, you'll get rewarded for it, and they don't say what it is. But the actual quote-unquote art of mixing drinks in this is like so easy that like I feel like a 5-year-old could do it. Like it's just like there's nothing that like rewards you in terms of like time or like making it in a more difficult way. It's just like literally reading instructions and giving to them.
Yeah,
you get a positive
there's
review.
Like 27 different drinks to choose from, and they'll be like, oh, can I get something bitter and girly? And you search bitter and girly drink and just make them in. They're like, oh, that was good. That's exactly what I wanted. Or if it's not, they're like, oh, that was bad. That was not what I wanted. You know, apparently there's like branching paths to bet depending on like what drinks you give them at certain points. Like, if they ask for one thing and you give them something else, apparently that'll change, like, future events. Like, my coworker was talking to me about it, how there's, like, it's, like, a bunch of different endings, and there's, like, secret endings based on, like, when you give certain people certain drinks at certain points in the game and stuff like that, but...
There's 6 different endings in this game. I only got one because I didn't really want to bother. I would probably consider this game completely middle down the road in terms of, like, just how I'd rate it.
Yeah.
But the secret endings are unlocked based on, like, giving people drinks at certain times, but it's not something like Cave Story where if you do something at a certain time, it unlocks like completely different areas of gameplay. It maybe you will change a couple dialogue options, but it's not going to like completely change the path of the gameplay going forward. I personally don't like when gameplay rewards memorization just due to the fact that like it encourages you to play it in one sitting versus like space it out. Like, for example, if you played this game and someone's like, give me the usual, but you haven't played it in a week, you're going to be like, shit, and then like completely mess up.
You're fucked, yeah.
If they're going to go the memorization route, I feel like they should have like really rewarded like being a good bartender. Like someone says, make me this, and like you make it under 30 seconds and you make it flawlessly and you get like extra quote-unquote bonus points.
You get nothing. You don't get extra money. Like there's also like a whole like system of you can buy shit for your room. I think some of it just unlocks additional drinks that you can serve. The rest of it just sounds like just fluffy shit to make your room look cooler. There's like a in between each section with the like the actual bartending and dealing with customers and like learning about their lives and stuff like that. There's like an interim, like you're in your house, in your room where you can like buy stuff, you know, talk to your cat, surf the internet, which is kind of interesting. There's like message boards you can like read about that's like people discussing in like, I guess, real time about like the world events, which are it's like a concert or like a terroristic attack. There's like this overarching theme with like this hacker, which you find out more about later and so on and so forth, which kind of just lets you, I guess, learn more about this world. I do very much, like you said, I do like the environment of this game. I like the world. I just wish there was a little bit more to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. This game, I felt like as...
It let me wanting.
It was only like 9 to 10 hours long, but like I felt like it could have been better, and I felt like it dragged like towards really the latter half.
Yeah.
Like every single level has way too much exposition, and I found myself completing the game because I knew that there wasn't that much game left, more than that I wanted to finish the game.
Yeah.
I will say that the massive highlight is the soundtrack. It was good.
Yeah.
I hate to bring this up again, but we played a game called Legal Dungeon, and like some of the songs reminded me of the Legal Dungeon soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of got that like indie generic like D&B kind of feel. Mm-hmm. But like it's not bad. Like I actually was jamming out. I haven't used my Switch with headphones in a very long time, and I was surprised how good it sounded with headphones on my Switch. I feel like the Switch speaker sucks, and I always forget that. But I will say it was really weird how they implemented the soundtrack. I actually kind of thought it was lazy and didn't work at times. So
yeah, I didn't
the way
like
that
it.
the way that the soundtrack works is you have access to nearly the entire soundtrack. There's certain songs you could buy or you unlock as you go on. All the songs you have access to, you put on a jukebox that you change for the course of a day. The way that this game takes place, you basically do a bartending job for a day, and then the plot progresses as the days increase. But yeah, you play whatever music you want, and you find out which songs are good and which ones suck by just playing them randomly on the jukebox. And it's creative, and it fits the bar theme, which this game is in. But
I wish there was like a random button. Just I want to hear like everything. You know, I don't want like if it's like a intense situation, like change the music yourself. Like I guess it's cool to try the different music, but it's kind of tedious to like, all right, let's try these 12. All right, next time let's try these 12. Next time let's do these. You know, it's like a lot of like button clicking. That's another thing I want to get into. Like the interface, I don't feel was very good.
Well, okay, one last thing on the music, because really my main point is that, like, yeah, it was cool that you just had a jukebox that played one song after another, but on your point, if there was, like, a random thing where it would play an intense song, an intense moment, that would be way better, because, like, you pick which music plays at certain times, and there's like entirely different genres of music and different moods of music like throughout the game. So like you're hearing like a heartfelt story about how someone's like family member died of cancer, and like it's playing like this breakbeat D&B like intense track, and it's like this completely takes me out of the game, man. Like,
there was like another point where I was doing, and they were like talking about like, you know, like going to the park, having a good time, hanging out with friends and stuff like that. You know, like, you know, happy-go-lucky times. Like, oh, can you make me like this good drink, whatever, and the music's like evil and conniving and like super dark and brooding and scary. I'm just like, oh god, this does not match it at all.
Yeah, so I feel like that's really the big thing. I have to talk about the music, but like I think the actual soundtrack in general, like it's like something that's like
good.
It's almost worth buying if like, that's the type of music. I could see a lot of people who enjoy this game enjoying it because of the soundtrack. But going back on the controls, I don't think I experienced many issues that you had. I thought this game really conformed to the Switch well, especially mixing drinks, because you did it with the analog stick. Did you play this with a controller?
Yeah, no, I played this with a mouse. So it's not the controls. I just feel like the UI is like pretty poor. Like I'm not a fan of like, so to put ingredients on the drinks, there's 5 different ingredients that, you know, one's sweet, one's sour, one's bitter, and then like one's like alcoholic. It's like you have to hit one, drag it to the mixer, hit one, drag it to the mixer. I wish I could just like click, you know, and so on and so forth. It just felt like very clunky to me, and so on and so forth. And then it just felt like a lot of those types of situations that came up with like different menus and interfaces that just felt like very like, oh come on, all right, I'm just want to do it, you know?
I personally just disagree, but I feel like this game was probably better suited to a portable
Oh, absolutely.
Could you see this? Like, you played games like Sprung on the DS. Like, it kind of reminds me of an interface you'd see on one of those games. Maybe less touch sensitive.
Oh, fuck, I want to play that game.
Yeah, but we already both played it, so we can't. It doesn't work that way. I feel like this game was definitely built for a system like the Switch, so I personally didn't experience those UI issues. I feel like we're also being very harsh on this game right now, but it's one of those things where like as soon as someone starts complaining, it's very easy to bandwagon.
Yeah. This was a chill game though. Like I said, like that's the best way to put it. It's like we've been playing a lot of like not like low impact games, low stress games lately, which is a nice break from like high fucking intensity, like needing to 100% focus action.
Hades.
Yeah, like the game was fucking amazing though, but
yeah.
I could see someone who likes this kind of game liking the ever-living fuck out of this game.
I think this is great for visual novel fans because visual novels in general like kind of all fit a very similar mold from what I've seen. So like this is a completely new take on it. I just think that what people praise it on, I think is a detractor, especially the dialogue. Like I think that this game, honestly, like there were some aspects that were uncomfortable to me, like specifically like the 13-year-old sex robot.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, I feel like that's just part of the whole
I mean, like
cyberpunk aesthetic.
The dialogue gets like straight up fucking raunchy at times, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, talking about, you know, like, oh, that robot's pussy, I bet it looks real fucking good, right? Like, look at her titties.
Yeah, like, specifically talking about, like, how they're gonna have sex with other characters. It reads like a 13-year-old boy just found out about swearing and sex and needs to talk about it constantly. That's where it really detracted from me. But, hey, with the 13-year-old sex robot, I was just like, it's probably an Andy Milonakis situation. They look 15, but it's an Andy Milonakis sex robot.
It's a 10,000-year-old dragon.
Yeah, exactly. Just it's quite the anime explanation. I don't know. I feel like this is honestly just a theme of Cyberpunk games. If we ever end up playing the actual Cyberpunk, turns out that game's also pretty sexualized. Not sure if you've seen that.
I actually have not seen too much of that, but I imagine it would be. It's like in the dystopian future, everyone fucks.
Well, my favorite. So I don't know. Yeah, that honestly could be a trailer voiceover, but I'm not sure if you know. Like you have to in Cyberpunk 2077, you have to specifically design your genitals.
Yeah. I'm just gonna have the fattest fucking cock. I can't wait.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, there was a glitch that caused your dick to just peep out of your pants from time to time. And that's the funniest. You just random penis all the time, and it's par for the course. If you're playing a Cyberpunk game, there's gonna be penis conversation.
Sounds like a subreddit, like random acts of penis.
It probably is, honestly. I will not come back to this game. I've already beaten it though, so hey.
To be honest, this is something I can totally see myself actually beating though. Mostly so I can talk to my coworker about it, but at the same time,
where do you get?
I'm on day 4, so I'm not
really?
too far. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I feel like the first couple days don't take that much, or they take longer than the rest. But you're really there's do you want me to spoil how many days there are?
It was 12 or something.
18.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Goes to the end of the month. What were you saying about your coworker?
He's cool.
That's all you're gonna say? Are you at gunpoint right now?
Yeah, no. It's I just need shit that's fucking low stress to play, and this totally seems like one of those things. It's gonna be another situation. I'm gonna fucking buy it on the Switch because it just sounds like so much better. Because they're just been this entire week. I've come home. I'm just so fucking exhausted. I don't want to sit at my computer, and it's just I just lay in bed, and it's fuck. I could have been playing this in bed on my Switch.
Well, sorry to your friend who recommended this game. We're just shitting all over it, but
I don't think we're shitting on it.
I literally took out my Switch and I took a fat dump. I don't want to use my Switch anymore. It smells terrible.
Did you or did you not enjoy it?
I would say I enjoyed it more than I didn't enjoy it, but I was very surprised when I saw how much people like this game.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing I could say was what I said earlier is it left me wanting more. If it was everything it was with more gameplay, I think it would be a much better game.
Yeah. I really thought, because I just didn't know anything about this game, I didn't think it was going to be a visual novel. I was wow, this game's pretty heavy on the exposition. Just let me get some gameplay over here. And then it's oh shit, there's no gameplay.
This is just the game. You make drinks. So
yeah. Should have been an open world cyberpunk adventure featuring the dev team of The Witcher. I mean, if we're talking open world games, you're a Pokemon fan, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, and as everybody knows, I'm embarrassed of the Pokemon fandom, in more ways than one. For one, they're crying about, scalpers, they're repricing cards. It's newsflash, things are worth money, news at fucking 11. So basically, this weekend, they had, the Pokemon Direct, or was it last week, whatever, where they announced the new... Sam's, shooting me. What happened?
Okay, continue.
What the fuck was that?
Just a little bit of murder. Continue.
We're fucking they announced 2 new Pokemon titles. There's an open world Pokemon game coming out, and they're re-releasing, as they did with Heart Gold Soul Silver, Fire Red Leaf Green, the Diamond and Pearl series, which a lot of people look upon fondly as quote unquote some of the hardest games. Newsflash, they weren't. You were just 7, so you thought they were hard.
Newsflash, no Pokemon game is difficult. It's just how it is.
None of them are.
They're enjoyable. Difficulty does not reflect a game's quality, but it's a Pokemon game. You literally are supposed to be able to beat a Pokemon game as a 5-year-old. I know I did. I was 5 when I beat my first Pokemon game or something like that.
Well, basically, the Pokemon fandom is absolutely losing their shit, saying who wanted an open world Pokemon game? This is a Breath of the Wild ripoff. Every single one of you fucking love Breath of the Wild, and every single one of you have been fucking asking for an open world Pokemon game forever. What the fuck do you want? 2, basically, the Diamond and Pearls got announced, and the art is kind of chibi, which is basically what the Pokemon games were. It just the graphics were in much, much lower resolution, so it's I guess you didn't have a problem with it, but now they're just being faithful to the original art, and everyone's losing their fucking shit over it, saying it looks garbage, all this, all that. They're they're gonna dumb it down, make it easy. This was the hardest Pokemon game, and like I said, none of these games were ever hard. I was fucking in my 20s playing this shit, and it's no.
Are you saying that when you were 20, you only played easy video games?
No, it's I'm a Pokemon fan, so I always play these games. So it's when you were a kid, you just went in there with the starter, with no move typing, with no advantages. Now you're fucking 25. You're gonna be going in there with, like, okay, I know that grass is good against water. I know that
you're gonna EV train the shit out of your starter, and it's like, why is it so easy to beat every single one of these gym leaders?
Exactly. It's the same complaints people had over like Sword and Shield and stuff like that. Why is it so easy? It's like, you're not fucking 5 anymore, you absolute dumbass. I think these games are going to sell very well. They're going to be very well received. It's just the Pokemon community has just been shitting themselves lately, and I'm frankly tired of it.
So I think this is a case of algorithms just doing different things to different people, because I did not expect this response. Everyone I know is super excited about the open world Pokemon game. They're like, oh my god, this looks awesome. Oh my god. I personally didn't see the hype. I had so many people saying this is like amazing looking, and I looked at it and I'm like, wow, this looks pretty barren, and it doesn't really look that much different than the newer Pokemon games where like you're already like going through grass and like riding your bike in a 3D environment.
Literally everywhere I go, everyone is pissed.
That's funny. Like, even on Reddit, like, I saw a lot of people being excited about this.
It's like
I'm
over
very
Twitter,
surprised
all
about
over
this.
Facebook. So like the difference is like, I guess maybe I'm connected to like specifically a lot of Pokemon communities. You may be seeing like people that are more into more communities than one. I'm talking about like the hardcore like Pokemon only fans are just like
the
pissed.
Pokemon only fans.
Yeah, dude, fucking naked Pikachu penis.
Well, aren't like people obsessed with that like one flower Pokemon, Giratana or whatever?
Dude, yes,
Gardevoir,
yes, they're obsessed with anything that can be fucked, and it has humanoid features. Or
I don't think a Pokemon can be fucked. Actually, I think that they are literally digital items. But is that where it goes? Is that where the conversation goes? I guess. Let's talk about which Pokemon are physically able to be fucked. I don't think a single one is, because they're all made by video game developers. No, if we're talking about Pokemon getting fucked, let's just change the subject. The subject's already lost. I don't really think that the remake of Diamond and Pearl is cool, because I'm just like really trying hard to like change the subject right now.
Sam is not a Pokemon fan. Like, Diamond and Pearl are considered like to be some of like the best games of like the modern era.
The funny thing is, I was a huge Pokemon fan. I like played every single game, and I owned both of them up until Diamond and Pearl. I actually did own Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. I owned all 3 of them.
Platinum's good as fuck.
The thing is, I feel like that's when the series lost me. I was like a really big fan of like the 16-bit, 8-bit, 16-bit, like GBA and GBC versions. And like once they made that leap to DS, like it was a little too much for me. I was like, this is kind of getting convoluted. It's like staying away from that like classic tone I had.
I guess I disagree. I find the DS era games to be the best in the series. Like, I think that Heart Gold, Soul Silver are the best versions, followed by Diamond and Pearl, and Platinum. And then
I remember I tried multiple times to like get through Diamond, which is the one I originally had, and I couldn't get past like Gym 3. Not because of difficulty, but because of motivation. And then like I did not play a single Pokemon game until the one for Switch, which apparently is one of the worst in the series. However, I really enjoyed
the shit out. I have had that conversation that everyone who beats their dick to Pokemon says that those were the worst games, but anyone who casually enjoys Pokemon from time to time had a wonderful time with it, because it's, like I said, it's an aging community where a lot of people who enjoy Pokemon are getting older, and they need to realize this is for children, and it's not going to be like an engaging gaming experience like you quote unquote remember it, you know?
I feel like people weren't really saying that the new Pokemon games on Switch were necessarily bad. They just knew they were going to sell well and that they were lazy sequels. But hey, I mean, there were a lot of people who actually said they were legitimately bad, which I feel like is just a completely wrong opinion. But I am personally not excited for the Diamond and Pearl remake. I hated those games. I am probably going to get the open world Pokemon if it gets good reviews. Even though I haven't beaten Breath of the Wild, I've made it like an hour through Breath of the Wild. I don't need another 80-hour experience, but hey, I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna sit on it.
I'm gonna play it probably because I'm just a Pokemon fan in general. I'm always talking about it, and Sam's always trying to derail me and make fun of me for it. But
I mean, when you talk about fucking Pokemon that much,
you're like, oh, Data, what fucking Pokemon did you touch?
I saw it in your eyes, man. I saw that lust.
Listen, my favorite Pokemon. Let me ask, what's your favorite Pokemon?
Cacturn.
Really?
Yeah, it's a cactus. I love cactus.
My favorite Pokemon is Slacking. So he has a move, I think it's called Laze or something. Every other turn he falls asleep.
Oh, it's the sloth. Okay.
Yeah, every other turn he falls asleep, like me. And if you look up his shiny version, he has like a little tuft of hair that kind of looks like me.
Okay. I feel like if you're gonna talk about a sleepy Pokemon and your favorite Pokemon isn't Snorlax,
I love.
You're wrong,
He was actually one of my favorite Pokemon in the games as well because he's one of the best normal types. If you use like a choice band and stuff like that, or he's very very strong and can one hit most people with return, which does more damage if he likes you, and he always liked me.
Well, I mean, for me, Cacturn literally is cactus, so I had to love it because I love cacti.
I played the competitive VGC for a little while, so it's like Cacturn is shit. Fucking sucks.
Yeah, I don't care about like an actual Pokemon's like power.
EV training, egg hatching.
Like the thing is, I had a level 99 Cacturn when I played Ruby, and it's just like he melted through everything. It doesn't matter that he was like not a great Pokemon or whatever you want to call it. It's just like that's how it was.
Sometimes it do be like that.
My second favorite Pokemon is definitely Regice because I don't know, he looks cool.
You ever seen those memes of like fucking Regice where it's like he's like saying crazy shit?
I have not. All I know is that I think I learned Braille by accident playing those games.
In other words,
this
was another one of those fucking weeks, man.
Yeah, honestly, it is one of those. Like, there really wasn't that much. Like, last week, we had so much gaming news. We had BlizzCon, we had the Nintendo Direct. Sure, we had a Pokemon quote-unquote Direct. Are you excited for Pokemon Snap? You gonna get it?
Oh, if we're not playing that on the podcast, I'm fucking killing myself in a video game.
Jesus Christ. All right, you heard it here first. You know what episode, like, 60 or whenever that game's coming out is. But yeah, it's one of those weeks where, like, really nothing happened. I mean, like, I don't know. Are you a fan of Daft Punk?
Yeah, and like, that's basically what I was going to go into. Daft Punk is definitely one of my favorite music groups of all fucking time. And they haven't made an album in fucking 10 years, so it doesn't really matter. But the Daft Punk officially broke up. It seemed like it was a mutual thing. They had like a whole video with it, which is unreleased.
Well, I own Electroma, which is it's just a clip from that movie, which it's a really boring movie. I don't recommend it, but
yeah, they did Interstellar 555, which is basically an anime adaptation of their album Discovery. Discovery is one of my favorite fucking albums of all time.
But I'm talking about the other movie they made, Electroma, which was part of their farewell video.
They also did the soundtrack for
Tron. He pulled up Discogs and he's reading through the discography of Daft Punk right now.
I actually do like. I'm actually a huge fan of them, and like some of their offshoot bands, like Stardust. It did like the one fucking song. The music
sounds better with you. I mean, like you're talking to a person who's seen. I went to Daft Punk's live concert. I'm kind of a badass. I mean, obviously I am sad about it, but like, yeah, as you said, they have not made music in a while. In fact, I didn't like their last album because I like their more electronic stuff. So like, really, they haven't made music in 15 years for me. It's whatever. I'm sad about it. I've been playing a lot of Daft Punk in their honor. I like have this like little music box. I like.
You gotta flex.
Yeah, I'm just flexing my defunk machine. I've been playing a lot of Daft Punk lately. There's not, like, we could speculate all we want, but, like, yeah, Daft Punk as a band is very secretive. I feel like we're not going to really learn that much about the reason why they're breaking up.
No. It sounded like it was more mutual just based on how they had that video.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if it wasn't mutual, but I said we weren't going to speculate, but I'm speculating. I'm going to guess they made an album. They're like, oh shit, we got to make something that tops that album, and it was so far out there and so genre like defining almost that like it's just like, yeah, we can't do this. It's gonna be, they didn't want another Human After All situation where like, people hated their album. So they're just like, you know what, we're done.
I did the favorite Pokemon thing. Do you have a favorite Daft Punk song?
Human After All.
I really, really like fucking Around the World. It's one of my favorite songs ever.
Yeah, you could, during Around the World in the Daft Punk Lollapalooza show, you could see me front row. It's actually, for some reason, there's footage of me. I'm kind of a badass. I'm gonna brag about that till the end of my life. Like, that was literally the best concert I've ever been to.
I just have like a very vivid memory of like one of the first times I got high and I was just fucking blasting that song in my headphones, just like vibing out.
Yo, why weren't you at Lollapalooza 2007?
I don't know. In 2007, I was like fucking beating off and playing Ragnarok Online. Like, I had better things to do.
You could do that on your Nokia flip phone at Lollapalooza 2007. You have better things to do than seeing Daft Punk?
How old were you when you had your first cell phone?
6th grade.
God damn, I was like fucking like 19 when I got my first cell
Well,
phone.
okay, you're also like 45 years old, so that
Fuck
makes
you.
sense. I would like No, I had so the thing is, a better question I feel like would be what was the average age to get a cell phone for people my like what grow. I got a cell phone earlier than most people, but I wasn't that far off. Like most people got them like a year or two later after I got them.
I was 17 and I got a flip phone I played Snake on.
I also wasn't like one of those people that I wasn't really spoiled. There was like a deal at AT&T where like, do you remember how phones used to be like free? Like now it's like you have to like pay like $800 for your phone. Like there's no discount, but it's like, oh, you sign a 2-year contract. Here's like 8 free phones. And that's like what happened. It was like, oh, you get a Razr. You get like, no, it was like you sign a 2-year contract and you get like multiple Razr phones.
Yeah, you get like
so I got a
for your
Razr.
entire family. I had I had like my flip phone, then I had the Razr, and then I had the first Droid. Man, can we talk about those first fucking droids? Did you ever have any of those? Like the Droid X, the Droid 2? Like those phones were fucking sick.
I went from Razr to Crazer. I was kind of a badass.
And then like the popular people in high school, they had the fucking Sidekick. Those things were sick.
When's the last? I'm gonna make an Engage game. The next podcast game. Have fun with that.
Oh, that
is there an Engage emulator?
That was like the gaming cell phone, right?
Yeah. There's like 12 games for it.
Dude.
There's like Speedrun.com has Engage as like a platform, and I'm pretty sure no one's ever submitted a run.
Cyberco. You don't know shit about the Cyberco.
I feel like there's so many like random ass phone. Like most people had a phone they probably couldn't pronounce with a model number that was like in the thousands for some reason.
Dude, I gotta send you a picture of this. I bet you've never seen this before.
I know what you're talking. I've seen that before.
The Cyberco, I had one. My stepdad.
Fucking transparent Game Boy ass looking phone.
Yeah, they came out from 2000. I'm trying to remember what games were fucking on it, but it was fucking dope.
I was a cell phone gamer. Like I would totally like rack up like a $70 charge on like the cell phone bill and get like grounded for like a month so I could have some games. It was
there
definitely
were some
spoiled
fun
kid
fucking
shit. But
games. Did you ever have cell phone DDR and it was like fucking awful?
Yeah, I had it, and it literally like.
Was
I
unplayable.
would press the note. I would press the note when the note was supposed to be pressed, and it would just full miss, and it's like, God damn it!
And at the same time, you'd have to listen to the music, and then it was off sync, and then you'd hit the button to like hit left, and like the touch tone from your phone would happen at the same time, so it'd be like boo. It'd be fucking terrible.
I definitely played a bunch of Breakout, obviously, but like premium Breakout. Okay, I'm not doing that default Breakout.
Oh yeah,
shit.
yeah. I played a lot of Tetris.
And then Chuzzle was my game of choice on my flip phone.
Did you ever play games on your fucking TI-83 calculator in high school?
Yeah, I made them.
Really?
Yeah, I made TI-83 games.
Aren't you fucking badass?
Yeah, kinda. Because people would like come to me and be like, yo, can I, like, it was like black market. It's like, oh shit, you got some games? And I'm like, yep, I coded this. And then I would like, you ever like see those people like trade games on the TI-83 with like that like cord that came with it?
Yeah.
And it's like Game Boy linking for like Pokemon trades, but it's TI-83 calculators. You know, they still use like TI-83s and 4s in like high school today.
They're exactly the same, and they did not lower in price. It's a fucking like
it's a racket.
It straight up is, because they're the only people that make them. I mean, all that shit's on the fucking cell phone now. But
yeah, but the whole reason they're still doing it is because it's standardized and you can use it for tests. So
yeah, I mean they are very nice.
I should have put my games on the internet because I'm pretty sure I lost them all. Like as soon as I graduated, I don't know where my calculator is. But I made my claim to fame is I made the casino app. It had Texas Hold'em. It had Keno for some reason. Like Keno is like an old person game. It's basically just.
Pokeno?
I don't know. It's not Pokemon, but
no, Pokeno. That's like an actual game. My mom used to.
You just get like
that.
Well, yeah. It's like a boomer gambling game where you basically just like get a random number and then you want to get a bunch. You choose numbers and then you see what it lands on. It's actually it's the worst game in a casino. Never play Keno. It's like the worst odds of anything. But yeah, I had a bunch of those and I was kind of a badass. That's how it was. Like just going back to the Daft Punk thing. Like, I've found myself watching a lot of Daft Punk videos, listening to a lot of Daft Punk music, especially Alive, because I was there, and I like to relive, like, pretty much the peak of my life, honestly. It's sad to say, but, like, that concert is very, very hard to beat. But, like, one of the reasons why it is so beloved today is because, like, you look at that, like, first, this video footage came out, like, 3 weeks ago of, like, someone like literally had the satellite Lollapalooza footage, so like what you'd see on like the big screens at Lollapalooza. They were sitting on this for a while, so like yeah, you would see like extremely shitty cell phone service, like from like literal flip phone footage of the concerts.
This is like first high quality like ever.
Yeah. Well, it is the highest quality. There's been some relatively high quality like stuff floating around, but like it's one of those things where if you were to have that concert today, well, the technology is there where the concert wouldn't look that impressive from like a lighting perspective.
Yeah.
It was like a very in the moment, and you weren't like focused on like, oh, I sound such like such a fucking boomer right now, but you weren't focused on like getting video and putting it on social media.
We didn't have cell phones like that back then anyways.
Yeah. Like you had a bunch of people taking like flip phone like pictures to show their friends, but like it really was like something that was one like you can't even do a concert like that anymore because
it's like it was an event. Like it's straight up like a once in a lifetime type thing.
Yeah, because like people would just be comparing it to like all the other shit they've seen. Like this was something that like you hadn't been able to see and like you wouldn't be able to capture. So like it was very in the moment and like of the time.
I didn't realize because that was live 2007, right?
Yeah.
So like I've listened to that album 1,000 times. I didn't make that connection that that's actually what it was.
Yeah.
Because that album is fucking sick. Like their live 2007 album, because it's like has some of like the best remixes and like flows into other songs. Like I couldn't imagine I would have been out of my fucking mind if I was there.
Yeah, and I'm kind of a badass, but if you're gonna listen to that, I recommend looking. Someone recreated it from scratch without the like some people like live albums that have like the audio and like people cheering. I personally think it's a detractor. I'd rather have the higher quality audio.
I have that actually already. Like I have their entire discography. Like it's edited and everything still.
Okay, that's there. There you go. You did it.
Yeah, you fucking piece of shit.
I am gonna remember that forever, and I'm just gonna brag to everyone. Like I don't even care if I'm shamelessly bragging. I'm better than you because I saw Daft Punk.
Excuse me, it's Alive 2007, not Live 2007.
Well, I knew what you meant. I wasn't gonna correct you. Excuse me. Please use the proper nomenclature when talking about Daft Punk. They used to be my favorite band. That quickly changed after like 2009-ish because I just saw a lot of other music. But I think my favorite artist now is CFAX.
That's actually a good question though. Like, has your favorite music like changed over time?
Oh, definitely. If your favorite music has not changed over time, you're like, yeah, sure, there's going to be bands that stay with you forever, but like my musical taste in like 2006 versus now, like my first concert ever was My Chemical Romance. I wouldn't be caught dead in a My Chemical Romance concert.
I would go. I'm fucking 30. I love My Chemical Romance.
Okay. One of the reasons I wouldn't see My Chemical Romance is because I don't like the Black Parade. Like I like bands before they're cool, man.
Yes, thank you. 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge is their best album.
Yeah, by far. So. I don't even like there's 2 good songs on the Black Parade. But
yeah, I'm kind of in the same realm. Like I could talk about that shit all day. My favorite band is Horse the Band. They haven't made music in like a million years. They just came out 3 new songs like this year, like after not putting out music for fucking 15 years. But
besides Daft Punk, like I feel like didn't like System of a Down also release music for the first time in like 10 years, a couple days?
And it was like for like a charity thing.
But Horse the Band, favorite band.
Yeah, but it's like I can't say that because it's like I don't really listen to them as much anymore. It's like what you said. It's like, well, it's not my favorite anymore because it's like you just kind of like go back every once in a while, and I'm sure you have like a kick on Daft Punk like you are now. But it's like
I'm not ashamed of what I listened to back in the day. In fact, I mean I was like extremely esoteric in my music taste due to the fact that I played a bunch of rhythm games. So like I was listening to like DJ Sharpnel J-Core in 6th grade, and like I'd be like, oh shit, you know that like we mentioned that story where I would like listen to the Jet Set Radio soundtrack in like 2nd grade and ask that like Japanese exchange student if they knew Hideki Naganuma. Like, but
like, no, what do you mean? It's like
it's like I have no idea what you're talking about. But I am not ashamed of my music taste back in the day, but it's definitely not like the stuff I listen to. It's either overplayed and I never want to listen to it again, or I just grew out of it.
I listen to nothing but fucking trance nowadays. Like Above and Beyond, Juna Beats, that whole crew is probably my favorite right now, definitely.
Just fuck it, be psychedelic trance now.
Ocean Lab, Above and Beyond, those kind of people.
Like our boy Viper,
Tony
fuck it,
McGinnis.
I'm psychedelic trance now.
Dude, Viper, man.
Let's not get into this because it's too sad. So no, Viper is in some deep shit.
Viper's in jail.
Viper's in jail. Viper is in a custody battle.
Free the homie Viper. I'm making free Viper t-shirts.
Might be a terrible human being in many aspects, but we love Viper.
We do.
Free Viper. That's all we need to say. Moving on to speaking of terrible things, but not Viper. Viper's not a terrible thing. Let's talk about like union busting. You ever bust a union?
Every day of my life. This is actually like one of my favorite. Like I think one of the funniest pieces of news this week. It's like
the only piece of news this week. But yes.
So Twitch was fucking playing ads that were like anti-union and stuff like that, like on Twitch streams and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like, this
so
is like,
specifically localized to Alabama, where Alabama's having a vote for Amazon warehouse workers to unionize, and like they're. So have you watched like the training footage from Amazon, like that got leaked?
No.
Where it's like they're like, we're not anti-unions, but we're not neutral either. Okay? If someone's talking about you, which is like, what the fuck does that mean? If you're not neutral, you're either pro or anti-union. It's like they're trying to use PR language, but it's like, if you hear someone talking about unions, immediately report the branch. It's like, oh my God.
The same thing happened when I worked at the casino. They're like, we treat our employees so well that you guys don't even need unions. Which, granted, they did. Like, let me tell you, the casinos have the best fucking benefits out of any other company in the fucking world. Jesus Christ, they have like the best, like top tier fucking insurance. Like, they give you everything. But
yeah, you get better odds on games. It's you go to the blackjack table. You say I'm a employee. They give you the better cards.
There are certain things that do have better odds. I did work at the casino. If you want to make money. You go to high stakes. You go to those fucking slot machines where it's $100 per pull. Putting $500 into that probably has 50 times better odds than like spending the same amount of money on like penny slots.
If you want to make money, my advice for a casino goer is stop. Just go home, sit with your pile of money, and be like, it's here.
The casino is nuts.
Yeah. Going back, I was like, what are we even talking about right now? Amazon was caught running anti-union videos on their Alabama localization, whatever, ad service. And not only was like that's not the end of it. It's like, oh, they stopped showing ads after public outcry. But no, Twitch released a statement saying, oh, we reviewed some of the ads brought to us and found that they did not meet our quality standards. So Twitch is saying Amazon, its parent company, did not meet their quality standards for ads, which is like insane. It's obvious that this is like a PR backlash.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna stop doing it.
It's like, oh no, we didn't know this was happening. It's like you knew 100%. And the thing is, like, the damage is done. Like the ads came out. The people who it would have affected to begin with, it affected. Or effected, whatever, and then they're like, "Oh no, this was a mistake." You know, it's
just so crazy to me because like their excuse for showing the ads is that they're so incompetent that they don't understand what like the same company is trying to put on their platform.
Yeah.
I also just love the meme. Like some people were like doing like copy pastas of like, yep, I was watching XQC like talk about eating his own cum, and then I saw this anti-union thing, and of course I'm anti-union now. It's like yeah, like Twitch is not the greatest. Like who's really watching these anti-union videos and like becoming anti-union? You'd have to be like so unbelievably brainwashed.
There's like 3 people, and it's like because everyone who's watched. There's no fucking secret that most people that are watching Twitch are like 12. Like they're gonna go to their parents like, "Mommy, are you guys should be against unions because fucking XQC eats his cum and said so." Like
Jesus. But yeah, I feel like that makes sense to me. That you gotta brainwash them young. Yeah, XQC. Shout outs to you and whatever you're doing in your own time. I personally cannot judge because if eating your own cum gives you that many viewers, then go for it.
What? Hey, buddy.
Yo, is that a fucking good episode or what?
Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you did like it.
All right, here's what you're going to do. 5 stars Apple Podcast. Subscribe on SoundCloud. Go to Spotify, get all your friends, and make them subscribe. Gunpoint. Basically, whatever you can do to make this podcast successful, we don't care what it is. We don't care what the means are. Thanks, gamers.
What he said, but slightly less aggressive and more loving.
Hypothetically, you're like in any situation, just in public, and like all of a sudden, slob on my knob starts blasting. What do you do?
Slob on my knob, like corn on the cob. Sex when we meet, and do your job. Lay me in bed, and give me head. Don't have to ask, don't have to beg. Juicy is my name. Sex.